Is guacamole a fruit salad?
What is the best milkshake for bringing boys to the yard?
Ostriches are dinosaurs.
Don't piss off old people. New game,
What do you mean it gives you Arby's mouth?
artisanal muck duck balls.
I think they call that autofellatio.
I want to high five a shark.
Welcome to Bar Banter. Relax, have a drink with us as we debate the most controversial topics in the world today.
On today's podcast, we talk about what's the funniest pre-bat tick.
Is it
How
box
much
night?
space should there be between people in line? And last but not least, how far away is, quote, out of town? But first, Richard Madison, what are you drinking?
Richard Madison.
I like how you doubled up on it.
Yeah. I'm back on Long Island night. It's calorie efficient.
Hell yeah.
Spring break's right around the corner. Gotta get ready. Drew, what are you drinking?
I changed it up a little bit.
No, you
sometimes.
did not.
I actually did.
Wait. Instead of I don't remember what it is.
What's the
Tequila
guess?
soda.
Yeah, instead of tequila soda, is it soda tequila tonight?
No, that looks, I would
Ooh.
say that's closer to like a bourbon and ginger if I had to take a guess, but
There's no ice in it.
it's a little light. So it's just
Bud Light.
urine. I
Yes,
don't know.
I'm drinking my own pee.
You need
It's
to drink
sterile
more.
and you like the
you need,
taste.
you need to drink more water. That is quite pale yellow.
That's good.
No,
Pale
that's a
yellow
pretty
is
good.
good.
That's a pretty good blend right there.
Dark yellow is bad. Clear
Right.
is okay. No, this is
Have you seen the chart?
Let's see.
bubbles. So it's a kava wine,
Ooh.
bubbly wine.
Wow.
I saw it at the grocery store. I was like, it's pretty cheap, and I like that. So, Travis, what are you drinking?
It's box night.
Oh wait,
Did you get here that
we
quickly?
finished.
Wow. It has the display sticker.
That is
I
a
did get
tennis
it.
shoebox.
It's still box. Can you guys guess what's in the box? What's in the box?
Bud Light.
I hope it's a head.
Food Light. Bud Light.
Wait, can we actually guess? Oh,
It's a
damn.
dive beer lager, and I'm gonna shotgun it because why not?
All right, I'm here for it.
Wow.
Tall boy.
How
too.
long has it been since you've shotgunned a beer, Travis?
Like 6 months.
wow, really?
Well, yeah, I wasn't ready for that answer.
Yeah, I was thinking years.
In 2025?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wait. Yeah. No, it was. I take that back. It was in late 2024
I mean,
was-
still
at
Oh.
at an
You
Auburn.
have a
game.
whole life that I just don't know.
don't
about.
know about.
I went to an Auburn game with my brother-in-law because he goes there. And you
Okay.
can see, I just
Do not get this all over your computer.
No, please do.
I'm being very careful.
I want our podcast run to end when you ruin your equipment from a shotgun.
Well,
If you
you
don't
know-
hear from us again, Travis has ruined every electronic in his house.
It's a tall boy, so I'm gonna have to stand up for this. Deep breaths and 3, 2.
Wow. I'm impressed. That was fast.
All gone. Oh,
That was very
there's a
fast.
tiny bit left.
Wow. I'm impressed, Travis.
I'm fine. Everything's fine. Wouldn't it be funny if you shotgunned a beer before every at bat?
All right, yes, you win. Next topic.
Gentlemen, our first topic this evening. Those are weak burps. I don't like that.
Sorry,
What
Toby.
would be the funniest pre-bat tick? So doesn't necessarily have to be an at bat, but it could be a before a free throw. It could be a quarterback breaking the huddle, where he like licks his fingers before he says hike. Whatever that kind of pre-initiation ritual is, what would be the funniest tick? Who's got thoughts?
I have a couple. I'll go first. Most of mine centered around baseball. My top one is going to be the dizzy bat, where
I like
when
that.
you're at bat, not like at the plate. When you're at bat, you right before you go up, you do one circle with your head, touch the bat. Because that doesn't necessarily like throw you off as much as like doing like 5 to 10 rotations. But to see that on the field, it feels like something you'd watch at like Savannah Bananas or something
Yep.
equivalent. But if that was like your shtick, it would be hilarious to watch every single, especially if you're a good batter. Um, and telling people that like, yeah, this is what gets me in the groove. This is what like gets me there.
Really centers me.
My two backups would be sleeping with your bat.
There it is. Sleeping with your bat?
Yeah, like keeping the bat with you, sleeping with it before the game.
Oh, that's not how I took that. But the Disney bat makes sense, but the pre-bat, the sleeping one doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But go continue. Sorry.
Doesn't make a lot of sense. Why?
Well, because to me, it's like as you're about to. That's the way I took it. Was
Oh, I was
as
thinking
you're
more like just rituals in general.
sure.
And then last one would be dipping your bat in some sort of liquid that you've had like brought there. Could be anything from like Gatorade to holy water, whatever it is. But before you actually go up to bat, you actually ritualistically put it
I
in
like
there.
that. I like that. Rick, any ideas? Any thoughts?
Yeah. I think it would be funny if somebody pulled out their phone and just started swiping on Tinder. Like, you just do a quick little glove
Okay.
adjustment, pull it out, start swiping 3 or 4 times, put it back in,
I like that.
and just because you're like, what? Why does this guy have a phone? Like,
Yeah.
and the funnier it gets when your sports don't have pockets. So
So you gotta hold it somewhere.
somewhere, I don't know, maybe you sew in your pockets.
And if
Yeah.
you go to slide, 50-50 chance you
Yeah.
crack the screen.
Maybe you
Mhm.
have the belt phone clip in basketball and you're running around like Steve Jobs or something.
Yeah. Is that the only one you got?
It'd be great.
Do you have others?
I mean, that's the only one I'm going to submit. I mean,
Okay.
I could make things up, but
I think the funniest thing that
like
someone
shotgunning a beer would be hilarious.
that would be fun. That would be pretty incredible. I think the
Wish.
funniest thing is, you know how well, I don't know how to frame this, but the idea is when you have to like your shirt isn't tucked in well and you just kind of shove it back in there, but instead of doing that, as you get up to bat, you have to take your pants all the way down to like your ankles and then like readjust your shirt and then pull your pants back up and then tighten the belt or tie the strings, and then the ref gives you the ball and you start your dribbling ritual, whatever you are, Giannis, that takes 30 minutes to shoot a free throw. I'd like to see someone just be, have their pants around their ankles, adjust their shirt, pull their pants back up.
And tuck it back in.
Yeah, and well, hopefully you're tucking it in as you're pulling it up.
Man, so you're talking about like the full reset,
Yeah,
like taking
Yeah.
the pants all the way down to
yeah. All around your
Like-
ankles. They're in the
like
dirt.
bathroom ritual, single bathroom ritual.
Correct.
wow.
Because having a child, I know you gotta pull the pants all the way down in order to go pee. Other ones I had was like before a free throw specifically in basketball, like just spitting into your hand and rubbing it on the ball so other people, would have to touch it afterward.
Mhm.
And then I thought about pantsing other people as
Huh.
you're also like if you dribble once, dribble twice, reach over, pants the guy next to you, and then shoot. You can't do
I
it as
thought
much
about-
in baseball.
And then you have to
Uh,
chase somebody down if they're
yeah.
not there. Like if they're
I thought about in football before the snap, giving the snapper just a little like honk honk,
a little squeeze,
or just a little like
a poke. Yeah,
yeah.
they have a pad for that.
Really?
They have a butt pad. Yeah,
Mm.
Anti-penetration pad.
So you don't get too far in.
Yep.
What?
Yep. I was a center. I know. And I also just thought about like falling down and tripping. Like every time you got up to go to bat, you just
Doing a full pratfall.
yeah. I mean, I didn't want to submit that one as my formal one because I feel like after, 6 or 7 times, it'd be like, all right, you have to stop. And then becomes funnier again later when it's like the 100th time. You're like, he's still doing this is almost impressive. Um, and then it's never making Sports Center again. And it's just like, oh, that's just what that guy does. So I didn't like that one as much as either pulling your own pants down or pulling someone else's pants down.
Pulling somebody else's pants down would be hilarious, only because I'm thinking of situations where I'm curious how dedicated you would be to the pants pull down.
Mm-hmm.
Like they pulled the goalie or something,
Mm-hmm.
and then so like the nearest person to you is further away, or things like that. And it would be funny to me that how like the security chases fans around the field, like
Yep.
you see
Yep.
Michael Jordan chasing around somebody before he shoots his free throw.
Mm-hmm. I didn't necessarily want to. So I think that is funnier than pulling your own pants down, but I didn't think it necessarily fit in the like pre-bat tick kind of definite because you're doing it to someone
It's
else.
almost more of a celebration tactic to
Right.
me.
That would be a
something
funny
good.
celebration is pantsing someone else. That would be
That's
good.
why it's funnier.
That's fair. I don't know if it counts as a tick.
I mean, if you have to do it, it does.
It's always a tick.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Hey, coach, come here. I got to pull your pants down.
I just got to do it. I think, could you imagine, like, as the coach knowing that? So you're like, all right, Carl, come on, just go stand next to him so we can. Inbound.
Please don't do this again.
Yeah, inbound play is, Trae Young has to pants the worst player on the team before he could take the inbound pass. So just someone go do it.
It becomes the pants ball boy.
Yes.
So I've got our submissions. I'm just going to read the 5 that I got were dizzy bat, dipping your bat in something, swiping on Tinder, pantsing yourself and readjusting, or pantsing someone else. What's the funniest pre-bat tick ritual thing?
I'm going pantsing somebody else because I think that would be hilarious.
I'm here for it. Let's do it. Pantsing someone else. I don't know who's
I'll
gonna
jump camp for it.
I could see what was it? Matthew Dellavedova, whatever the hell his name was. Do you remember that name, Rick? He was on the Cavs when the Hawks won our 60-game season.
Not gonna work here anymore.
Yeah. He was an asshole, basically. And I could see him just like trying to pant someone right before he shot the ball. Kind of like I do like the people that would like it wasn't the guy who was about to shoot the ball, but when you're on the line during the free throw, you go over and you like untie someone's shoe. I was like, that's something I would do. But they do need to add more space in between those people. They're far too close and standing in a line.
My God.
All right, I'm going to bed. Bed by 9. Bye, fellas.
Tired of weak snacks? Step up to Angry Toothpick Jerky. Too delicious and just a little dangerous. With flavors like original, classic flavor, basically jerky royalty, teriyaki, smoother than your cousin's mixtape, and try our new chili de árbol, sweet, spicy, and definitely plotting something. Find us on Etsy and get 10% off with code BANTER at checkout. Angry Toothpick Jerky. Own your hangry.
Gentlemen, our next topic. How much space should there be between people whilst standing in line? I thought of this because I was at a indoor amusement park thing, and the people behind me they had no sense of personal space, and I was ready to yell at them.
Okay.
Was this when we were playing golf the other day?
No.
Were we too close to you and you didn't say anything?
No. It was someplace in Panama City Beach. And when their significant other came over, they decided to like basically cut in the line and go over to where they were standing when he could have just easily come over to that. I was so mad. I can't tell you how, like, I'm almost angry thinking about it.
Okay.
And I had to actually turn around and like, can we have some space?
hot button trigger
I'm-
for Travis.
Yeah, Travis just getting worked up.
I like my space. I like to don't invade my. If you're actively touching me while in line, you are too close.
One, personal space.
Personal space. It shouldn't be. And of course, their kids came and like were running into my legs and like just thought they owned the place. And I was like, I'm
It's hot.
very ready to just kick you guys out. And I can't do that. I don't have authority to do that, but I'll figure out a way to do it. Anyway, so how much space should there be in between people while standing in a line?
I'm just gonna get us rolling, and I don't know if this is my final answer
Same.
because I do have opinions on this, but I think. Well, anyways, we'll get into it. I think basketball rules: you get a pivot foot, and once the pivot foot is established, you get one kind of step, and that is your bubble. That is your zone in the line.
Is that full circle, Rick? Like you have one foot planted.
Yeah, and I guess
you pivot on the 360 because that's like I actually looked it up. Like average person's width is around like 22 inches.
Yeah,
somewhere around there.
Ooh.
But you don't
like shoulder to shoulder because shoulders are usually
the
the biggest part. So it'd be 44 inches.
Yeah. But to sort of clarify real quick,
4 feet.
That was a lot of numbers that I wasn't ready for, but it sounds right. I mean you are feet like parallel, your shoulder width apart kind of thing, and your pivot foot is established. Like you don't get to take a step forward and that become your pivot foot and then encroach forward to maximize your space.
Bubble.
Like, so you can't do that.
But then does that other person have the same pivot radius? So they like their center foot has to be also 48 inches from your pivot foot.
I guess where I'm getting at, then maybe
I don't want to do too much math on it.
I think arm's length is too far.
Okay,
I agree
because that's where I was originally.
I think that is.
I'd agree.
But it's a little like right at the edge of too far. Like, okay, like stick your arm out. I think that's an okay rule, but it's on the farthest. I mean, and again, I haven't done that, but if we want to do arm's length as a starting point, I'm willing to listen.
I just think if I have arm's length on both sides and I do a circle and also can't touch anybody, that's a little too far for me for like being in a line.
So I also think
because they also would have to have their arms out for their personal space.
That's a good point. I had not thought of that. I think, and it also depends. I think it gets the gap gets smaller the more people that are in line. Like if you're at a stadium, you have to assume you're going to get really close to people. Like that's just the way things work. If you're getting into an elevator, you're just going to get, and I know that's not necessarily a line, but like as the space gets smaller, as there are more people, that space is going to drop. So I agree that arm's length isn't necessarily a good measure, but if I think like maybe I'm going to throw out a number here.
Okay.
Like 3 feet, I think, but between the end of my, like if I'm standing here and there's someone in front of me, 3 feet seems like a good amount of space as a like no volume restriction. Like we're just standing in line at the CVS to get your prescription. There's only like 3 of us. Yeah, give me like 3 feet of space from my torso to your back, kind of thing, give or take. Not arm's length.
Like center of body mass to center of body mass.
Yeah, center of stud to center of stud. Yeah, we're hanging drywall.
Okay,
about 3 feet.
I'm not super mad at that.
It can get closer, and I want to find out what that too close number is.
So I took a little bit more esoteric of like if this is my rule at the moment, and I don't know if there's a number that it actually represents, but if I can feel your body heat
God, we're way past too close at that point.
We are too close. If I can even think that I'm looking at you and I feel like your body is affecting mine with that like internal heat, whatever it is, I think that number is somewhere around like 2 feet.
Mhm.
And what I was thinking of this, because there's so many different lines you can be in, I think the worst line that you can be in with this is at an amusement park, like you were talking about, Travis. But like if I'm at Six Flags and we're in line for a roller coaster, we're kind of getting closer because everyone wants to get there a little sooner, but it's miserable and it's hot anyways.
Mhm.
If I can feel you close to me, and I don't know if it's like body heat or if it's like just some sort of like ethereal, you're in my space, but I think it's around like 2 feet for me.
Is anything
close.
inside of 2
Inside
feet
of
is
two-
too close? Yeah.
Yeah, because then you can close the gap pretty easily with your arm, and I don't love that. 3 feet feels like a good distance
Like average. You can go
away where,
longer
like,
than 2 feet or 3 feet, but
I'll,
but
I want
like
to be.
if we're talking minimum distance
I'm looking to
between
see if I have a
people,
ruler up here. I don't think I do.
If I
I've
adjust
got
in
a
line, I don't want to feel you
Definitely,
in
definitely.
any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
And that's an elbow bump because I reached in my back pocket.
Mhm.
That's if I want to. That's if, oh, wait, maybe I forgot something. I'm turning around to check like where an aisle is. And by feel you, I mean impact you, feel your breath. Like,
Your aura.
yeah, I don't want to feel you.
So, Rick, on that point, I asked Jesse this question, and her answer was if I can hear you breathing, you're too close. If I can feel you breathing, I'm going to throw hands.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, that's not too dissimilar than I felt. Hold on. So this will be roughly
Okay. This is 2 feet, and you can't even see it on screen.
Yeah. I'm doing 22 inches because I have two 9.5 by 11. I have two 8.5 by 11. So it's close to 2 feet. I think that's yeah. That's 22 inches. I can get a little closer. Not much. But like depending on the situation too. Like if it's like if I'm thinking about going back to your example on uh getting on a ride, right? Sometimes they when you get up to the ride, they have to put you in like individual stalls to kind of like hold you there so then you can get on the ride, and those are a very confined space. And I'm not saying those count necessarily, but like there are other situations where you have to be a little closer, and that's understandable. But like if you're just like waiting in the line, kind of yeah, I think
I'm
two.
thinking the gamut of lines is like at a grocery store with a cart between you.
That's a lot of space. Obviously, the
Yeah,
cart
I
has
know.
to be there, but yeah,
I'm just thinking like this is what I went through in the process of thinking of this. Like grocery store with a cart, airport with like luggage,
Mm.
just being at the grocery store with like a hand basket, and then like something like the DMV where there's nothing in your hands and people are in that line, and then the most and closest one would be something like a theme park because everyone is miserable anyways, so it just doesn't factor in quite as much. There's the reasonable person standard I feel like is a little bit shorter in that situation, but I still feel like 2 feet, even I would even go like 18 inches,
that would be the very
which is 1.5 feet.
yeah, that's too close.
Somewhere between those two is kind of
I'm okay. So this is what I want to do.
my Goldilocks zone.
I think for the purposes of the answer, 2 feet. Anything under 2 feet is too close. And then we'll call that the reasonable person standard. And there'll be other exceptions as to why it's okay to go under 2 feet. But for like your everyday line, we'll say anything under 2 feet is too close. But I do have another question because you brought up the airport and I just looked at it on the ground. Proximity to a bag or cart, I think can be closer. I still don't want it touching me by any means, but like I think proximity to a bag or a cart can be inside of that 2 feet and still be okay. Like if I'm 1 foot away
Yeah.
from someone's bag and I know I'm not like,
I even think like if I'm at the grocery store and somebody's behind me with the cart, if you're 6 inches away, that's not terrible as long as you don't poke me with the cart.
I want enough room to where I can sway a little bit. Because I do rock back and forth a little bit. I, kind of mosey and whatever. So I need a little bubble. But I was gonna say if it don't come inside of 1 foot.
Yeah, a foot's good.
Because then that gives me the ability to like, oh, if I don't know your bag is there or you've moved it and I take a step back, I'm probably not going to run into your stuff. More than likely. So I think if it's just people and anything inside of 2 feet is okay. But if it's like bags and carts or whatever, you can get a little closer to that stuff because that provides an additional buffer to the person.
So let's say ultimate rule somewhere between a foot and 2 feet. Like those are the minimum and maximum depending on what's like outside.
What I'll say is never
forces.
I'll say never inside of 1 foot, but there are exceptions for inside of 2 feet.
Yeah.
And anything above 2 feet's fine.
Person to person above 2 feet, objects involved above a foot. It's somewhere in that's the Goldilocks zone for me, is like somewhere between that 1 and 2 feet.
Doing this because Danny's phone is going all over the place.
Will you nod your head if you agree with us? Okay.
Rick agrees.
Rick agrees with us.
So we've come to a conclusion. I do think that 2 feet is probably not far enough to be out of town.
Well, it's been a good run. I want to say good night. And I wish you guys the best of luck.
Hey, real quick. You listening? Cool. Do me a favor. On your app, wherever you're listening to this podcast, there's a button to follow or subscribe or some sort of a notification type bell. Whatever you do, don't click them. Don't click those buttons. Don't do it. Or click it. Whatever it doesn't matter. Just fine. It's fine. Just click it. It's cool. Just do whatever you want. Preach.
Gentlemen, our last topic of this evening. At what point are you out of town? How far away from town do you have to be out of town? And I don't have a good answer for this one. I think it's got to be situational. Again, I don't like saying that because
I've got a hard.
Hold on. Let me
I think
frame
me and Drew
head.
would have surprising answers.
Because there are towns that after you leave, I'm thinking like Dallas and Fort Worth, you can't necessarily put a mileage on it because at some point you're just in the next city. And
no, but that's a bad example.
But are we talking?
I get what you're trying to say. You just.
But are we talking about out of the time? Are we talking about out of town in terms of the town you're in, or out of a town?
While you're struggling, why don't you let me and Drew step up to the bat and help you hone your answer?
Okay.
I think we're prepared.
I have answers. I just don't know which one's the right one.
Rick, would you like to go first, or
you sounded ready? Go for it.
For me, out of town, if I have to consider if I have to think about spending the night somewhere.
I love that we're on
before I return.
Yeah.
So 2 pairs of underwear, essentially.
No, not even like I could take
right.
I could take a backpack and be fine.
You could also do it down and back in the same day. I've done
You
a flight
could.
to another town and come back.
Yeah.
You could. You absolutely could. But it's for me, it's if I have to think about, am I going to spend the night here or return in the same day? That's the caveat for me for being out of town.
But that I don't. Again, I don't. I understand where you're coming from, but I don't like the semantics of it because you could you could do a day trip to another
could,
town,
but
and you never
You're
have
out
to
of
work.
town during the day trip.
Potentially,
Right, that's what I'm saying. You're out of town, so
potentially could be exhausting and like, yeah, you're out of town, but like, you're out of.
But also,
You're
to
not.
Drew's
You're not outside of a radius where you couldn't be back if something
but you could. Well, what about like
truly detrimental happened.
But like an airport, I can say that about California. I could
could.
fly from Atlanta to
I-
LA.
but to-
and then-
Honestly, I'm not actually thinking about flying in this at all because I feel like it has too much ability to like have something go wrong. So I'm thinking driving, and if you want to, I don't even want to put a mile mark on it, but anywhere from like 3 to 4 hours one way.
because to Drew's point, like, and you said, Travis, yeah, you can come back, but Drew said like debating or thinking about spending the night. So that means that like in your scheduling, you're like, if I don't want to spend the night, I have to leave early to be able to make it back.
It
And
could
so, like,
be
So just
it
because
could
you
be
don't do
easier.
it is not the thing. It's just that factors into the decision is what
Yeah.
I took from that.
It could be if I was thinking about taking a trip to Dahlonega, which is
Yeah.
what 2.5 hours
It's not even
from
that far, but
downtown Atlanta. And I was like, okay, it would be easier for me to stay the night than it would be for me to drive there, do what I'm gonna do, come back. That is a day trip to me, and that's not out of town, really. Because at the end of the day, I'm back
you don't think
in Atlanta.
you don't think Dahlonega is out of town from
No.
Atlanta?
I can't wait.
I don't, honestly. Because that is a roundabout, let's say 5 hours. I'm gonna be back in Atlanta. Anything I need to do, I've woken up early to go there. I've driven there. I've done whatever I'm gonna do. I've come back, and I still have time in the day to.
But so then I go back to my other
complete.
example. I go back to my first example of Dallas and Fort Worth. If you're driving from Dallas to Fort Worth,
What a bad
you are out
example.
of no, that's out of town. You are
I
no
mean,
longer in Dallas.
I don't
And you're
disagree
in
with
another major metropolitan city.
I don't
understand.
disagree with what you're saying, but it's just a bad example because Dallas Fort Worth is considered like the same thing.
They are. It is Dallas Fort Worth.
Yeah, it's Dallas
Like-
Fort Worth. Like I understand. I agree with the words that
You
you're
don't say
saying.
Dallas or Fort Worth.
you just
say
picked
They
the wrong
Dallas, Fort
city.
Worth.
They don't say Dallas Fort Worth Cowboys.
No, you're right. They don't, but they say Dallas Fort Worth.
That's just because it's the airport.
No.
But like if
It's the
you're
same thing as Minnesota, Twin Cities. Like
Yeah, it's like a try.
it's the
like
exact same thing. Like you have two
a double
cities.
or tri cities area.
I agree with the words. You just
If
picked
you
a
were
bad city.
you were in Dallas and you drove to Fort Worth and then came back, would you consider that out of town?
Well, let me go to really stir this up.
Yeah,
Because I think
I
I'm
might-
thinking maybe because
Please.
I think they're
Because I hope Rick has a third
Let me go to really stir this up.
entirely weird perspective on it.
I do. I'm going to submit two answers here. One I like more than the other. If you have to go to an unfamiliar grocery store,
okay.
you're out of town. And the bigger one, if your delivery app asks you if you're sure when you say, I want this delivered somewhere, or it says check your settings or location, you're out of town.
I'm not going to
don't
say
We're
love
out
this-
of town
I don't
I'm
love
not-
the second
because the
one, Rick.
conversation's not out of city. We're out of town.
I don't disagree with the premise. I don't use delivery apps, so I don't know that much.
No,
I can't speak to that as
It's
a
not
Rick,
super
I
far,
I don't love
but-
the second one because I have things delivered to multiple locations in town, whether it's my house, my parents' house, work,
Yeah,
whatever.
that's fine. But for
And
your
they asked me to confirm that.
yeah. But if you're confirming it, then that means you're ordering it to somewhere that is
But I'm
out
not
of
out
town.
of. But I'm
from
not
you.
out of. I'm 3 miles from work.
I would say you're out of town, and you should use it more as an excuse. Say, sorry, I can't make it out of town.
I don't love that.
I think out of town is a shorter distance than what we've grown accustomed to saying.
I don't. I'm somewhere in the definitely somewhere in the middle. My first one was like, and I don't know how many minutes this was. Drew's thinking like 5 mile or 5 hours or a combination. I was thinking like half an hour outside of the town, give or take, is kind of out, about 30 miles if you're on the highway, 30 miles, 30 minutes, whatever you want to call it. And if you're in the boonies, it's like as soon as you start seeing like, it's on a highway, my original thought was if you're on a highway and as soon as the distance between exits start exceeding 1 mile and you start kind of get like that 2-3 mile gap between exits, then you're out of town.
We could be onto something
Because
but what if you start quote out of town? Like,
right.
What if that is home?
So it would be, I guess, the inverse is you start seeing them more frequently.
Okay.
So as soon as the distance becomes
change in exit distance. Okay.
Yes. That was like because when I think of out of town, I'm thinking, how do I need to get enough. We're in Atlanta, so I have to if I'm trying to get out of Atlanta and out of town before I like stop for gas or whatever, I need to get past 285 and I need to go a little bit. I can't go to the first exit.
For sure.
I need to go a little bit further. I don't know exactly what that distance is. Again, 30 minutes or so, but is that also where the exits start to get a little bit
But
further
would you
apart?
consider if you're going on 285 to like Highway 20 and you're about to go to, you would never do this, but you're about to go to Augusta.
Augusta's out of town for sure.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the exit from the interchange from 285 to 20, is that out of town?
No.
You
Not
don't spend time there.
Not right there. But it's like it's almost like
You're still in Atlanta.
Yeah.
But if I go to Decatur, is that out of town?
No.
I live in Sandy Springs.
No. I would say yes.
See, I would say no. That's all. But Atlanta's huge because we have a weird paradigm of what town is. Because I think of it in town as all of Metro
out
Atlanta.
of city is essentially what we're having a conversation of.
Yeah. Woodstock might be close enough to be out of town for me. Where it's like it's not quite 30, it's like 15 minutes, probably past 285. Six's Road in Ackworth is out of town.
I wouldn't even consider Ackworth out of town. This is only because I drive these.
You drive out of town
multiple times a week.
Okay, well, if that's the distance, I drive to Albany and Montgomery multiple times a week. So we're saying that's not out of town?
That is out of town.
Don't consider that out of town.
That is out of town.
Montgomery, Alabama, you don't consider out of town?
Montgomery, Alabama. Yes, I do. I'm thinking...
Or Albany, Georgia.
Again, I go back to my original prompt of if I need to consider this an overnight trip. If there's even a thought in my mind that this is going to be an overnight trip, that's what I'm. I'm out of town.
Okay, I think here's the disconnect. So Drew, let's say I'm going to use Nashville, right? 4 hours away.
Yeah.
Clearly out of town. I think we can all agree Nashville is out of town. From at what point between here and Nashville are you out of town? Because it's not when you reach Nashville. There's some point in the drive we are no longer in Atlanta. right? It's not Nashville. That's not the
Yeah.
out of town. So how far? What's the radius outside of Atlanta
For
to where
me,
you are out of town?
me specifically, just because I've had a lot of like experience with this, Chattanooga, I think, is still out of town.
I agree with that.
I'd hope so.
Yeah.
Anything before Chattanooga, I'm like, I can make it there and make it back and still have some sort of day left.
So and
Yeah, but so let me throw a wrench.
Is that we'll say? Well, hold on. Is that would you say an hour, 2 hours,
Chattanooga is about
hour and a
2
half,
hours,
2 hours, depending on
depending on traffic.
So
and
you're
weather.
so to use that as a measuring stick. Basically, if you're within 2 hours of any town, you are not out of town. Is that about? And then I know there's exceptions, but like as a general
Yeah.
rule of thumb, is that probably close to where you're saying? Because I don't agree with that either, Rick. But I'm just saying I'm trying to level set and understand where Drew's coming from. So anything inside of 2 hours is probably in town for you,
I think
with
so.
with exceptions. Okay.
But I have a question.
Because well, and I think this is kind of hard. I can get from where I am right now to Chattanooga in about 2 hours. I can also get from here to the airport
About
in
2 hours.
about 2 hours, which is like 17 miles as opposed to like 120 miles.
But I have a question. If I say, Drew, let's get lunch, and you happen to be in Chattanooga, when I ask you that question, what are you answering me with? Are you saying
I'm out of town.
okay?
Out of town.
So it's not a distance, it's not a time,
Yeah, I think so.
because you could get back to me for dinner. Like if you can make it back in the day or whatever the buffer is, maybe Dalton's a better example. Like if I ask you, do you want to get lunch? You're not going to be like, yeah, I'm in town. So like,
yeah,
how can you? Why is that considered in town? If when I ask you, you're like, no, I'm out of town. You can't just say you're out of town and still be in your definition of town.
But if I was in Decatur and it was going to take me an hour and a half to get back, I'm not going to say I'm out of town.
But you're going to use the city, and I think if you have to use the location, you're now out of town, or whatever Decatur is.
If I'm doing work in Macon, which is only like an hour and a half,
you're
I'm
out of town in Macon. First of all,
that's all I know. I agree. That's what I'm going to say. Yeah, no, I'm out of town. I'm in Macon.
But even like bring it in closer. Like, let's say you're the south side of Atlanta, whatever the correct town name or suburb would be. I'm going to say Peachtree City because that's the one that comes to mind, but that's a little further. I know, but so it's not the best example.
I know what you're saying.
But if you're in Peachtree City and I'm in Roswell, like that's most definitely out of town.
I don't necessarily, because if I was in like West Side or East Cobb or Marietta, we're still talking about an hour's drive in medium traffic.
Correct.
And I
don't know what the time has to do with this, though.
I just don't think that's out of town.
It's all Atlanta.
I mean, but you have to, if you answer with a different location name, then you're out of town.
Like Metro ITP or, close to OTP. But I'm still not like, I'm not out of a range where it would make sense for me to be like, we should do this another day. Or I'm going to stay here overnight, which I'm going to keep bringing it back to. Like, I'm not going to spend the night in Smyrna because that's a 30, 40, maybe an hour drive, depending on traffic.
Okay. I disagree with that standard.
Yeah. I would like to propose I'm going to say, I think that Drew's not going to agree with this necessarily, but a 30 minutes outside of your town you are no longer, you are at that point out of town. Whatever that town is. And sometimes like Atlanta to me is like includes metropolitan, like the whole thing, Metro Atlanta. So like Dunwoody and East Cobb are technically still part of the same quote town just because of how big it is. So that's an exception to the rule. But like once you're outside of whatever Metro Atlanta is, 30 minutes outside of that, you are no longer in Metro Atlanta. You are in another town. You're not in another town, you're out of town.
I would concede that point a little bit, but I would take the range up to about an hour and a half. Because that, for me, that
I don't
includes
like making it time.
That includes like going through Atlanta traffic. That includes driving on back roads. Like if I go,
there are a lot of grocery stores I haven't been in, Rick, though, so I can't
if I
say
go
that.
if I go 60 miles an hour, that's one thing. I'm probably out of town at that point. But if I go 60 mile, or if I go 5 miles in an hour because of traffic, I'm
You're
still
right.
in town.
You're right. I'm okay
I
with
would
the
say
mileage.
Because it's not time based.
But I would say
like
in general, if we're talking best case scenario, driving on the roads, an hour and a half to me is like you've gotten out of wherever you were that was a township, and you are now in a different place that is probably a different township. So you are now out of town. I don't love it either, but I also don't think I just don't think there's a good answer for that.
Because Rick, you like the idea of when the mileage starts to potentially break up, and that's usually around.
Yeah, but that could also be like the next exit, depending on where you live. And so, yeah, I'm a big fan of that. Depends on how close to the mileage change you live.
That's
So, like, if where I live, which it is, like mileages are 3 miles apart. By the time I get to work, mileages are 1 mile apart. That could be a 10-minute drive. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of the mileage one. That's the one that's made the most sense to me all night.
yeah, because I feel like my answer of 30 miles doesn't work for quote smaller towns, but that's where my like idea.
That's where the mileage signs make sense.
See, I think it works better for smaller towns because 30 miles outside of a small town,
Yeah, that's the
you're
closest
most
Walmart. Like,
you're
you have to go that far.
most likely getting to an actual
that
other town.
I think that might be the actual distance between Walmart is if you have to go to a different.
Oh, so my
Walmart.
grocery store one actually does make sense. Okay, glad we're coming back to it.
But like, I mean, like, there is a Walmart.
But there's like so many different grocery stores. Like I'm labeling it as a actual Walmart.
Yeah.
There's
You don't grocery shop at
but
Walmart? I don't understand the question.
Well, no, because there's not like I have a Publix and a Kroger right next to each other. Like
Yeah.
but like, or maybe is it Waffle House? Is that what it is for Atlanta? Is every
Now
town
we're
have their own
talking.
Waffle-
Now
every
we're
town have their own
talking.
Waffle House.
we have discovered
If you found a new group of
if
regulars
you have
at a
never
Waffle
been
House,
to Waffle House,
you are out of town.
you are out of town.
Which could
Honestly,
be
I'm
across the
strangely
street.
more okay with this.
Now
and
we're
I
on
would
to something.
I would include Cracker Barrel
Ooh.
Well,
in that as well.
I think
Actually, I prefer
put-
Crackle Barrel because it's further apart, so it's harder
Yeah.
to go, and there's not necessarily a
if you
distance
have not
associated with
been
it.
to that Cracker Barrel, or if it's the one you
Yes.
have not been to in a minute,
Yes.
you're
Yes.
out of town.
Yes. Now we're on to something.
We have discovered the key,
I'm gonna put
the Rosetta Stone for distance.
I'm gonna put Cracker Barrel in air quotes because there's whatever regional version of Cracker Barrel you have.
Right.
Yeah, they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah. Maybe you don't.
There's Cracker Barrels in California. It's across the country.
Well, I originally wanted to do Waffle
Yes.
House, so
I'm so glad we've ended up here. Yes.
We spent
Okay.
30 minutes debating this, and it came down to Waffle House and Cracker Barrel, and I'm
Yes.
fine with it. So what
Yeah.
are we saying is
100%.
Is that fair?
if you
That is the perfect
honestly,
distribution of
perfect
towns.
distribution of out of town. I love this so much. Can we get shirts made up?
Oh my god.
And we've got to assume that you're not reaching the Cracker Barrel, right? I'm assuming that there's a radius around.
If I stop at that Cracker Barrel to eat, I am out of town.
Yes, 100%. This is so good.
God. I've never been more proud of us than I am.
they're gonna love
I am
this
right now.
at Cracker Barrel.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna tag him when this comes out and be like, "Hey,
Do it.
Did you know? Did you know?"
I
Oh
have
my
been
God.
to at least 5 of these Cracker Barrels.
I just don't go to. I don't go.
And
to
Drew, you're
Cracker-
so right because you don't go to yours. Like
No.
No, you don't.
You don't.
I have been to the one up off of like I think it's
Rick, are
Hainbridge.
you that far north?
Yeah, man. I am
Yeah.
out of town.
You could go to the Falcons practice. You're right
yeah.
next to Flowery Branch.
I am.
I didn't know you were that close. I didn't know that's where that was. I knew you were like more north, but I didn't know you were that north.
I'm pretty up here, bro.
Yeah,
I'm pretty up here. I'm almost above Lake Lanier.
I know that's where Flowery. I only know that because I used to go to the Falcons practices.
Yep. I pass Flowery Branch every day on my way home. At least
Do you
the exit.
go to the lake?
I do not. I don't have a boat, and Murder Lake and all that.
That is Murder Lake for sure. Murder would definitely get you kicked out of a bar,
Wow.
I need to pee because that was a really long
but like
roundabout way to get to the best. Maybe,
honestly,
maybe the best solution we've ever come up with.
we definitely had to go out of town to get that answer.
Heyo.
I like that. That was a good, not segue. For tonight's last call, we have another estimating trivia for closest person wins. I don't know what we want to call this, but you guys got to answer these estimations in some funny
Americans
units.
will use anything but the metric system.
We
That's
will.
what
We will
call
not
it.
use the metric system. It's not going to happen.
Fuck the metric system.
The first question is, how much does a blue whale weigh in Honda Civics? How many Honda Civics does a blue whale weigh?
Okay,
Also,
Travis,
blue whale
I'm just
weigh.
going to.
Just blurt out an answer.
Well, I'm going to preface this. I am using the calculator.
Yes, you can
That's
use the
all I'm
calculator
using.
app. I don't care.
Just for mental maths.
Yes.
See.
I'm gonna go freehand.
You know, beautiful mind shit right here.
17.
17 Honda Civics.
Wow, that is not correct, sir. But that's the $1 Bob. He went Price is Right rules. On
I went
that.
Sure did.
$1 Bob.
We
All right.
have
I stand by my math.
we have the bar. We have the bar. It's
We
very
are
low,
humbling.
but we have the bar.
Hold on.
The floor?
Hold on,
We have
hold
the floor.
Give me 45.
45.
I'm gonna say 60.
Ooh, nice.
Drew's gonna take this one because the answer is 114.
Wow.
The average blue whale weighs, or I guess this was the maximum, but the upper limit of a blue whale is 330,000 pounds, divided by the average Honda Civic, which is about 3,000 pounds.
I was going
Pounds?
60,000 tons, so yeah,
Mhm.
it's 120,000 pounds.
Yeah,
Damn.
I was way
Yeah,
off.
triple that.
I was like 20 tons, I thought, and I thought a car only weighed a ton. So wow.
Yep, nope.
This is why
Next question, Danny, you have I don't want to say an advantage on this, but you might know a little bit. What is the distance from New York City to LA in football fields?
oh,
Interesting.
First, we need to figure out how many football fields are in a mile.
In football fields, I'll go. Back of the napkin math. 120,000 1,000.
Oh, I was about to say, I was like, you're way wrong. And then you added the 1,000. I was like, all right.
Yeah, 120,000 football fields.
Okay.
Ish.
Okay. That's a number.
45,000.
75,000.
Danny.
I just mentally can't get there. I'll just do. What did you say?
It's about 18 football fields in a mile.
18.
In a mile?
A little bit under, but it's about 18 football fields in a mile.
Danny has 10 seconds.
25,000.
25,000. Rick is going to get this point. There is, by the way the crow flies, there are roughly 2,800 miles between New York City and LA.
Mhm.
An average football field is 300 feet, not 300 yards.
Don't believe that.
And so by this math, it's about 50,000 football fields. So Rick, 45,000 was actually really close.
Wow. Well done.
Next question. How much water
Oh, God.
do Americans use per year in bathtubs?
Like
God.
the
To take
baths?
baths or
No,
in
just
showers?
In units. In units.
So the unit
drinking
is-
water, washing dishes,
Right.
laundry.
right?
all of
The,
that,
to-
but-
the total amount of
Oh,
water used
okay.
in bathtub units.
Wish I looked at our water bill more closely.
17,000 bathtubs.
17,000 bathtubs for Rick. Okay.
A year?
Yeah. The average.
Yeah. I'm sure I'm way wrong, but
So just think about how many gallons
I
of
think I
water.
underestimated how many gallons we use a year. But
How many gallons
I'm
of water
also-
you use?
Like, how many gallons are in a bathtub? Because that's
right, that's tricky.
bathtubs of water used per year.
The average American, right?
Average American.
182.
And what does everybody else guess?
That's how many tubs.
I remember-
I think I said 17,000.
Oh God. Fuck. Either.
You said
What-
182.
Yeah.
In a
I'm gonna
year?
check my math.
If you take a shower like every day, you're you're already wrong.
Wait, Danny, what was your question? What was your answer?
182.
182.
What?
I don't know, man.
Danny doesn't shower much.
That's fair. I believe that. No, I'm back on board. I like my answer. No, I don't. Actually, I'm way wrong.
Yeah.
Because if you took one bath a day for the year, that's
Bath
18,250 baths.
Yeah, but if you never take a bath,
What?
I'm gonna go.
I'm way wrong.
Wait, what was everybody else's guess? Hold on.
Danny said 182. I said 17,000. If you say 17,001, you probably win.
Bathtubs.
Yes.
Bathtub.
Bathtubs.
I'm gonna
Bathtubs.
go 75.
I can't believe I just won that.
You didn't.
Yes, I did.
You
But
did
show your work if I didn't.
You are severely overestimating how much water is used by the average American.
That's fair.
This guy he's
Severely. The answer is actually Danny's gonna get this one. It's about, we'll say, 560 bathtubs. So the
Okay.
average American uses about 100 gallons of water a day. Times 365 is 36,500 divided by a 65-gallon bathtub, give or take. There's
65-gallon bathtub.
well,
Shit.
they range between 50 and 80.
Yeah,
I
I
was
went with
using,
yeah, I
I
went
was
with
using
So-
30, and I was not
Okay.
using an average of 100 gallons a day. Holy shit.
Yeah. So well,
Yeah,
you
I
got
said
you
a
got to
million gallons
factor
a
in
year. That's what I went with.
you got to factor in watering the lawn. You got to factor in a bunch of other things. So 100 gallons a day, I think, is probably close, plus or
Yeah.
minus 20 gallons, whatever. So
that is much lower than I expected.
is
feel bad
significant.
about
When you
my
said
water usage.
17,000, I was like, we have,
Yeah, I was assuming
That
a
is-
million gallons a year.
yeah, no, not quite.
Good for us. Well done, people. I don't know why people tell us to leave our water off when we brush our teeth because we're doing just fine.
We're doing just
Good job,
fine.
people.
Only, yeah. This one isn't a length.
I'm leaving my water running from now on.
This one is not a crazy unit. It's just a crazy answer.
Okay.
What is the total length of all human DNA
Oh God.
in your body laid end to end?
Oh,
Oh my god.
50,000 miles.
Yeah, I think it's
No idea.
ridiculous amount.
wait. Repeat the question.
What is the total length of all human DNA in your body laid end to end? So if you took every single strand of DNA in your body and you laid
In
it
one person's body.
in one
You have a
person's
pro-
body,
Do you have a preferred
I'm way off.
metric?
They overshot that.
In giraffes? In giraffes.
no, there isn't a funny metric on this one. It's just who can get the closest because it's more than 50,000 miles. I'll say that.
No.
It's more than 50,000 miles.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yes.
Think Jurassic Park when they're explaining it in their cartoon. It's like, that's over 100 million miles of DNA or
Call this DNA.
Dino DNA.
1.2 million miles. Kilometers? Miles? Miles.
A single person 10 billion miles.
There you go. That a boy.
The B.
So Drew's gonna get this one.
That a boy.
He's still not close.
Dang.
Actually,
Like a short amount or a large amount?
the what I could find, I don't see usually like person, but I can kind of divide person pretty easily. This says all human DNA would stretch around 11.2 million light years.
Oh.
No, that's all humans though, not one
Right,
person.
but divided by 8 billion.
Well, if you ask ChatGPT, the answer is 13.5 billion miles. So Drew's only off by 3 billion.
He's still the closest for sure. Like,
Yeah, but he's not way off.
I don't know what the actual correct answer is because
There's
I'm
still a couple factors.
he's still
different.
billions.
Compared to me and Danny,
Yeah,
you're not way
you're
off.
much close. I don't know what the right answer is, but I know Drew's the closest. Let's
Correct.
Let's put it that way.
I will take it.
If anyone had said billion miles, I'd be like, yeah, you're probably not.
Ballpark.
You're closer. but-
You're in town versus
Yeah.
out.
Yes, yes, you are. Yes,
Yes, 100%.
yes.
If you're in the billions, you're in town.
In
still.
town.
All right, last question.
You've gone to a Waffle House.
How much revenue did Apple generate in 2023 in Big Mac combos?
Ooh.
So not just the Big Mac sandwich, the
Oh.
combo.
Did you say Apple?
Yes, Apple the company.
The computer company.
Yes, how
And
much
this
revenue?
is
The iPhone company.
Yes.
How dare you?
So obviously they generated revenue in dollars, but I want to know
Oh.
how many Big Mac combos.
Man, I took that way too literally.
Travis, can you give us the price of a Big Mac
Nope.
combo in
Cannot.
2023?
Cannot.
But it is the current value.
It's only 2 years ago,
Oh.
so it's probably similar
I
to what
think
it
the
is
prices
today.
have gone up a little bit.
Inflation is a bit.
Maybe by
it's like
a
eight.
dollar
It's like
or two.
$8.
Again, if that's the defining
difference.
factor, we'll settle it in a different
All
way.
right.
But like,
Let's go to calculator math for this. Okay, I think they were around $1 billion, if not $2 billion.
I think there was more than that.
200 million combos. I say good day.
200 million. I'm gonna go around 125 million.
I'm gonna say $1 billion.
1 billion combos,
1 billion combos.
and with that, Rick's gonna take it.
Man,
What
I
the
didn't
fuck?
know
They had a lot of revenue. I
So-
feel like I was even way under.
You were significantly closer than they were, but you were still
yeah, but
way
still
off.
way off. Right.
So Apple did about $383 billion in sales.
Jesus. I
The
thought
a-
it was like closer to like 2 billion.
The average Big Mac combo is about 850, give or take. So 383 billion divided by 850 is about 45 billion, plus or minus whatever the math is. So 1 billion is significantly closer. How I have one, two. Drew and Rick, you guys said. Woo! They had 5. So well done. This episode went much longer than I thought it would. I thought we were going to
Right.
be done by 9.
I thought we were going to be done by 10, but
The 10, yeah, 10, not 9. I don't know why I said 9. Great episode, loved it. Follow us on all the socials at @the_bar banter. New episodes every Wednesday. Tune in for another box night. Who knows? We're gonna have in the box next week.
Mystery box could be anything.
It could
Even
be
a boat.
anything.
Travis, I want a prize if we guess what's in the box.
Okay, done.
Ooh.
Done. Shout out to our sponsor, Angry Toothpick Jerky. Find them on Etsy. Just type in Angry Toothpick Jerky.
Give me my jerky.
Give me my feed your hangry, I think is the slogan. Yeah, let's go with that. Like and subscribe. There's a link in the description where you can help us out and support the podcast. And just remember, this is our podcast, and you're just along for the ride.
Okay, bye.